Hey everyone, so in today's video, I am going to fill in and decorate the April calendar in my Take a Note A5. I'm using this one as my personal planner, and then in my traveler's notebook, I have a work planner, and I'm going to be setting up a horizontal weekly layout in preparation for next week. So if you are interested, definitely break out your own planners or journals or whatever you're working on, and let's have a really casual stationery session together. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about in this video, and I'm also struggling a little bit with my voice because I am recovering from being sick, just a common cold, but I still really wanted to do a video, and I also wanted to just relax with my stationery. Planning, journaling, and just doing stationery stuff really calms me down, and so that's why I'm doing this today, despite my voice being so raspy. But side note, I kind of like how it sounds, and I always feel like that tail end of being sick, I just feel like I sound so cool. I don't know what it is about it, but that's like the one thing I like about being sick. So as I'm filling out my personal planner right now with my Jetstream pen, I'm still using that one by the way, I'm realizing there are so many fun events in April. We've got my birthday coming up. I've got a lot of social events planned with friends and family, and I am really excited about gardening as well, which is another one of my obsessions. It's a really fun hobby for me. And April is just getting warmer. There is more rain, which as a gardener, I really love that. So all in all, I just feel like this month is going to be really fun and exciting for me. A lot of people have asked about my little icons. I do plan to release those in the shop coming up very soon. I've got so many different things going on with work and stuff, so just please bear with me as I try to get organized and put all of these things out into the shop. These planner icons are currently I don't know, I'm still kind of testing them and testing the waterproofness of them. So yeah, and I also have to come up with other icons that people may want. Currently, I only have the ones that I would use, which I don't think makes up the general population's need for micro icons. So I'm still kind of working on producing them and setting up all of the files and things like that. Sorry it's taking so long. Anyways, the decoration part is super fun as always. I just like to collage and layer stickers and washi tape. And I'm using a bunch of spring florals and foliage, and I released a few of these spring decoration sheets in my previous shop launch. So if you're interested in those, definitely check them out. They are available on my website, sericastudio.com. And I just love how they are clear matte stickers. They just blend so well into the page, and they don't add a lot of bulk, which is something I really like in my planners anyway. I don't mind if my journals get bulky, especially if they're more of a collage type of journal, but for my planners, for some reason, I just want them to be relatively flat. Separating out my personal stuff from my work stuff has worked really well for me in the month of March, so I'm going to continue doing that for April. And I haven't really been decorating or doing very much that is aesthetically pleasing in my weekly pages in my personal planner, unfortunately. It's just not really something that I need to do, and with my personal life on a day-to-day basis is so chaotic that I just don't really have time or like energy to do so. But with my work planner, my work is so chill. Despite having a lot to do, I feel like I can go at my own pace. So I do decorate my work planner a lot more. And I feel like that's a reflection of what life is like. And yeah. Speaking of which, like how my work and my life, like my personal life is chaotic and fun. And it's just like a beautiful mess. And then my work is just like the calm in the storm. I feel like for a while there, I tried to convince myself that because my work is so calm and chill and I can set my own pace, I tried to convince myself that my work was actually self-care, which, spoiler alert, it's not. I can't replace self-care with working. And I should have like learned from all of the other creators who have made their hobby or like their passion into their job. Like, that's not gonna work out. You have to at some point realize that even though you love your work, it's still work. And that happened to me. I burnt out. Yes, it is true that when I'm working versus with my children, it is so much more calming. But at the same time, doing this stuff is still actually mentally taxing. And I guess I kind of got confused because in the past I have worked a lot of jobs that were not only mentally draining and taxing, but physically laborious. And so I was bamboozled. I was fooled into thinking that doing something like freelancing and doing what I love for a job was actually could replace self-care. It can't. You still have to refill your cup in other ways, which was for me super frustrating because I don't really have a lot of time to do that. I still have to work and then I have to care for my family. But lesson learned, I decided to, especially during this week when I was really sick, to reel back on the amount of time that I was working and actually do things to replenish my physical and mental health. So hopefully that message reaches whoever it needs to reach. But I don't know. I just feel like there are some aspects of my work that I see as being self-care, especially when I'm sitting down to do planning and journaling, right? I mean, that is something that I would choose to do even if I wasn't doing this for YouTube or whatever. I would definitely choose to do that. And so it's just this like catch-22. Am I even using that phrase right? I don't even know. But I felt like in my mind, I categorize things about this job that I like and I don't like as much, and that would be self-care. So like, for example, video editing is something I would definitely put into the not like as much as the creative part, or like communications and mathing and admin stuff and like file organization. All that stuff is definitely in the don't like as much category. And that I was like, okay, if I'm not feeling as well, I will just do less of that stuff and more of the other stuff. But it doesn't work like that. And then I tried to convince myself that the category of things I do like about work can just replace self-care. Oh, that's so odd because like I would never do that with any other job. Like there's plenty of jobs where I liked a lot of aspects of it, but I wouldn't have been like, okay, this is definitely replacing self-care, you know? So I think I just need to really examine my mindset about freelancing and working for myself, and just like setting harder boundaries between work and life, which is pretty much why I decided to separate out my two planners to personal and work life. So yeah, let me know if this helped you at all or resonated with you, or like if it doesn't apply to you and you're not freelancing or you're in school still, you know, just ignore it or change the message to how you need it. The way I set up my horizontal weekly planner is I use a ruler and a fountain pen, and I count out even spaces for all of the days of the week. And I really like putting 5 weekdays on the left-hand side and then 2 on the right-hand side. I did several variations of different weekly planners in several other journals, and I'm thinking about making a video showing the different ideas and different layouts that I've tried over the years. So let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. I have this tester blank notebook that I would love to just play around with different layouts and do that on camera. That's just another idea I had. But I really liked how I made a little column for the check boxes, and it just makes everything look so organized and neat. And then the little circle stickers are just like marking out my energy level. So I use a little tan or sandstone sticker for low energy days. And this whole week I was really sick, so I used tan for every single day. And then I have the light pink one for like medium energy days. And then I have a red one for high energy days where I feel like I can just work. So I also have a little tracker of how much time I'm working. As you can see, I did not work very much this week. I just did what I could and took the rest of the time to either try to rest or take care of householdy things. And I didn't do much of the like planning either, so there's big empty space there, but I'm trying to be okay with having a lot of empty space when I don't need my planner. Doing all of this makes me remember how much I enjoyed creating my own planner layouts and doing in some form bullet journaling, because it's so flexible and I can change it. I can even omit an entire week if I need to. Whereas with the Take a Note planner, I'm pretty much locked into having that same weekly format for the entire year. And if you're familiar with it, it's a 2 spread per 1 week format. And I really wanted to try that because I hadn't ever seen something like that before, and I wanted to see if it would work for me. But I went into it planning on doing both work and personal stuff, and now that I've separated those two for the reasons I just mentioned, now I feel like I'm only using about half of the column every single day, and on some days I don't use it at all, and now I feel like it's a little bit too roomy for me, and I do miss having my whole entire week on one spread. So I'm going to stick it out as long as I can with this, but my whole thing is that I've learned I do like seeing my week on one page, and it's a little bit too big for me. So maybe that can help you make your decision in what planners you want to use. But for me, I kind of think that I like doing my own planners. Like, I like drawing out my weeks, and I like being able to switch it up when I need to, and maybe even having pages in between those weeks to do planning. And maybe I'm just a person that likes to change up things throughout the year. So maybe blank notebooks and making my own layouts is the way to go. Let me know what you think. I really want to love the convenience of having like a pre-printed planner, but it's so nice not having to write in the dates and having everything all set up for you already. But then the rigidity of it is very constricting at times. What is planner peace? Will I ever achieve it? I do think I will try to stick it out with these 2 planners. If I add planners, that's fine, but I really didn't want to like totally abandon the system that I had already. So I think I will stick it out with the Take a Note planner for the entire year. And I saw a post by Suhei Plans on Instagram. If you're not following Suhei Plans, like, you should. But there was a post where she said that if you are feeling the urge to planner hop and get a new planner or switch entirely, to maybe just reevaluate how you're using your current planner and see if making a change will help you stick with it. So that was really cool. And if it wasn't Suhei Plans, it was like something that she reposted. So I just wanted to kind of let you know that was something that made me stick with my Take a Note planner and strengthen my resolve, because I don't know, I feel like it's such a huge waste of the paper of the notebook to planner hop. But then again, I don't want to make anyone feel like any sort of guilt. If you did planner hop, that's fine. Obviously do what's best for you. It's your stationery, it's your money, do what you will. But I just wanted to kind of share like why I'm sticking with it, even though I'm discovering that maybe this isn't the best fit for me. If anything, it's making me realize that maybe like pre-printed thread-bound planners are not really my jam. Like, maybe I need to go with something that's more flexible, such as either making my own if I'm going to be using a thread-bound notebook, or going with something like a plotter. And this is kind of like my stationery wish list. I'm very, very intrigued by it. I'm following a lot of people who use the plotter, and it's so beautiful. They print out their own inserts and they, stick them in, and plotter also makes really beautiful inserts. It's very fascinating to me, but it's definitely out of my budget at the moment. I'm definitely not going to be getting one this year, but I just wanted to let you know that's something that I've been eyeing and kind of window shopping online for. I think everyone has that kind of stationery wish list, right? That's my current fascination, but yeah, we'll see. It just seems so flexible, and I like how it's not super thick and chunky, because something about a really chunky like rings planner is not really that appealing to me, but the plotters are so slick and slim, and there's only like a few things that you can really put in there at one time, which seems perfect for me as a tiny handwriting and minimal planner person. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Does anyone have a plotter or something like that, or like a really small rings here? Because I would love to know your experience with it. I feel like it would offer the flexibility that I desire, but also be really aesthetically pleasing, and I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. I don't want to freak anyone out. I'm not going to get a plotter randomly this year, at least. It's one of those things that I'm debating right now, because it's like, I don't know if I'm going to love it, and I don't know if I'm going to love rings. So it's way too much of an investment for me to like not be 100% sure if it's going to be like one of my most used items. That's kind of my thinking right now, but it is very fascinating. Does anybody have a plotter? Let me know what your thoughts are. But if you love it, like, don't tell me how much you love it, because I'm trying to resist. So I have meandered very far from the point. I don't even remember where I was going with this, which is just one of those things about recording voiceovers, is like, I love talking when I have someone to talk to, because it anchors me. There's this natural back and forth. I can like ping pong the conversation, especially when I don't know where I'm going with it, and then the other person can usually like bring me back to the plot. But with these monologues, I swear, I even have an outline next to me, but I've completely ignored it. And I think I've already covered everything I wanted to say, all the basics and stuff, but I figured that people like unscripted and they don't mind my meandering, wandering thoughts. So most of the time I'm just saying like sweet nothings about stationery anyway. But I do want to get more coherent with my voiceovers, so I think I will do more like Q&A stuff. That way it can be more like a conversational piece instead of a monologue. That would be really lovely, I think. So I will gather some questions from people and answer the ones that I think are appropriate, or the ones that I actually want to answer. I guess the best place to do that would be either Instagram, or maybe like in the comments of this video, or like in the community tab. I don't know. But I think question format would be really helpful for me as a conversationalist. I'm not a monologuer. I had 5 bullet points on my outline, and I've covered them, but in a way that I didn't really like. So I think having a more conversational format would be super, super helpful. So yeah, if you have any questions about either like stationery, life, art, I don't know, whatever you have on your mind, like let me know, so that I can make this more like a real like planner meetup. I kind of want my videos to feel like we're getting together for a little stationery meetup and we're chatting, but right now I'm just kind of talking at you, and maybe having like questions as a Q&A would be more of a talking with you kind of thing. So yeah, let's try that. Also, I think with the Q&A format, it will allow me to talk more, and then my videos can be longer, because I know that some people really like the longer videos, some people like the shorter ones, and I want to have a good mix in there. So I want to do some videos that are like a good half an hour to 45 minutes long, but I can't really do that if I do my own outline. I feel like I don't have enough to cover, but if I have some fodder for conversation, the questions would help tremendously. So definitely do that. I don't know if anybody follows me on the community tab. I might throw out some question gathering things there. It's all very casual. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I'm trying to do this YouTube thing in a way that's like not so strict, and I'm just having fun with it. Alright, so just spitballing here for April. We've got some vlog stuff. I think I can show a little bit of the fun things that are occurring in April, birthday stuff, and some gardening stuff. So I'll throw in some vlog stuff, maybe some small biz stuff, and then I'll do a couple more of these plan with me videos. Let me know if you like the whole idea about showing like examples of weekly layouts you can do in a notebook. I would love to. I also want to try out some layouts in my passport size notebook for like planning weeklies and monthlies. So yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. And then, I don't know, I'm just chock full of ideas and not enough capacity to actually execute them. So, oh golly. All right, I think I'm gonna end soon. Have a wonderful rest of your month. Hopefully you have a great April. I will see you in lots more videos, hopefully, fingers crossed. And happy journaling, happy planning. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.